Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between 120 and Soin here on Shallow Grave version 1.5. 120, well, spawning as the blue undead on the top left hand side of the map, getting things underway. Ultra of Darkness training up a Death Knight. Meanwhile, off on the other side of the map, we see Soin opening things up with a Blade Master and Grunts. There's that Voodoo Lounge. It will be completed in time so the Blade Master can easily clear out this creep camp, and once this creep camp is cleared, well, actually getting killed by the creeps right there. Gonna try and get that lightning shield to proc properly, just trying to micro all of that, and this is taking a little bit of time. I don't know what that Renegade Wizard is raiding for, finally going after that unit there. Alright. Using that lightning shield to effectively attack all three units at the same exact time. You can see that lightning shield ticking away. I think it's doing about 20 damage per second. Yeah, really adds up over time right there, as he's going to go ahead and now go after that Ogre Warrior. Meanwhile, off on the north side, you can see dual rods of necromancy charges being used already as the Death Knight looks to clear out this rogue creep camp. So both sides doing a little bit of early creeping here on Shallow Grave. Everyone, well, already at it, trying to get to level 2 on their primary hero. Those first two abilities really open things up before you try and make a move out onto the map. Blade Master did pick up a Ring of Protection, while the Death Knight picked up a Claws of Attack +4 and also picked up a Ring of Superiority. Now, what are we really expecting in this matchup? We can see Soin has tech to tier 2 relatively quickly and is now placing on a couple of orc burrows just to make sure that, well, if there is any harassment from the undead, he is not supply blocked. Meanwhile, off on the north side here, we're looking at 120 opening, well, really not having any real indication of what he's going for other than Crypt Fiends. So it is going to be Death Knight and Crypt Fiends opening things up here, and most likely going to follow it up with a Slaughterhouse. The undead, well, tech buildings, one of the most powerful in WarCraft 3, with how, well, universal that Slaughterhouse can be, training up your siege units, your healers, your anti-armor units, as well as your magic immune units. Just very, very powerful overall, just getting a lot of utility out of that particular building there. Anyways, Death Knight and Blade Master really haven't gone head to head with each other as of yet, and both sides are trying to deny creeps from the other player's side of the map. A little Kobold Tunneler getting in a little bash on that Crypt Fiend there, but it's gonna be some easy clearing. Meanwhile, off to the north, Blade Master trying to go after this Forest Troll High Priest. If he can get the High Priest and also this Forest Troll Warlord, that would be a very big deal. There's a quick ensnare. This Grunt may end up having a little bit of a problem trying to lose aggro, and the Forest Troll Berserker may end up getting taken down as well. Alright, trying to lose a little bit of that aggro there. There it goes, takes it down, trying to spread out all of the damage across multiple units, as the Death Knight is doing the same thing, trying to clear out difficult creep camps off on the other side of the map. This is one of those situations where these two players who have gone up against each other so often and know each other so well that they know that if they try to spend 15 to 20 seconds to find their opponent, then, well, they will end up actually being behind. What it is better to do is just try and continue that strategy, creep out where you creep out the opposite side of the map there, and perhaps you'll be able to get a little bit of a lead. Blade Master takes a death coil there, now already down to 246 hit points. Has to be extremely careful as the Grunts and Berserkers are now showing up. There's a death coil there. There is now a Windwalk Strike trying to take down some of these Crypt Fiends. There goes one Crypt Fiend there. There's a death coil to save another Crypt Fiend, as the Blade Master is looking to perhaps catch that one Crypt Fiend up on the front. No, not catching the Crypt Fiend, instead going after the Death Knight. Death Knight now retreats back with that Unholy Aura, being able to outpace that Blade Master at least for a half step. Alright, Grunts will need to try and tank some of that damage in the front line. The Blade Master has taken quite a beating overall, as the Blade Master will stay at level 3 and the Shadow Hunter will stay at level 1. now that we have this supporting cast in the Lich opting to go for Frost Armor first, as, well, first hero Blade Master often surprises the Death Knight or any low hit point Crypt Fiend to try and burst them down quickly. Lich making sure to keep those units alive with that Frost Armor. Alright, little bit of damage going back around here. We're looking at one skeletal minion. Is it going to end up getting shut down? It will, unable to disrupt any more of that positive healing, as the Blade Master also has, well, a health stone. We're looking at, and also that wand of mana stealing, so the Shadow Hunter has some powerful consumable items and more mana than normal. Should be able to use that well once he gets healing wave at level 2. The Death Knight and the Lich still wandering around here. We're going to see a Rock Golem creep camp getting cleared up. Perhaps 120 thought that he'd be able to catch Soin in that position. Not the case, but also hires up a Dark Ranger as that third and final hero. Tech to tier 3 nearly done. No sign of a Tauren Chieftain yet, obviously, as we need a little bit more time going on there. Forest Troll Berserker going to get taken down, and the last remaining units will end up falling. Level 4 now on that Blade Master. Decent damage overall. Do we see the Tauren Chieftain? We do. So it is going to be three heroes going up against 3 heroes. Reinforced defenses now getting added. And the bases actually look rather sparse. 1 barracks, 1 bestiary. That is it. The Berserker upgrade now getting researched. Meanwhile, looking at Undead. Undead has level 2 on that Lich. Picked up a Mana Stone as well. Has the Claws of Attack and is most likely waiting for the, well, Dark Ranger to deliver that Orb of Corruption on that Lich. Orc units so bulky. Well, 45 supply compared to 41. The bulky units, everything pretty much is a 3 supply across the board. The Crypt Fiends, the Obsidian statues, the heroes, obviously 5 supply. We are getting the Berserker upgrade, but I don't see a single Headhunter out on the battlefield yet. So that's just to train up Berserkers now, as the Berserkers are out here on the battlefield. But remember, at only 450 hit points, they do get bursted down very quickly by a level 3 Lich and a level 3 Death Knight. That 1-2 combination really quickly removes 450 hit points, or close to it, meaning any damage on a Troll Berserker could be lethal damage with that follow-up. Kodo Beast out on the battlefield as well. We're looking at both sides running rather small armies, 45 supply compared to 47. It may come down to the heroes, as the Tauren Chieftain hasn't trained up his first ability yet. Shockwave, Stomp, Endurance Aura, all 3 are viable options as the Blade Master tries to find what is going on here. There is an Orb of Lightning on the Blade Master, so he can perhaps proc to, well, take down an Obsidian statue if it does try and misstep here. And here's a potential creepjack situation. Alright, there's a Shockwave lighting on through. There's the Dust of Appearance. Blade Master is right in the party here, gonna go ahead and try and hide away here. There's a silence onto the Ogre Lord, but the Blade Master was able to back away in time. Tauren Chieftain is in the front. Is he gonna try to throw down a stomp? Yes, he does get a stomp down onto some of those Crypt Fiends, as we're still looking at trying to burst down some of these units. Alright, 1 Crypt Fiend does get taken down. 171 critical strike. Dark Ranger, Crypt Fiend tries getting taken down again. Tauren Chieftain escapes away at 21 hit points and is now hiding in the backfield. Meanwhile, the Ogre Lord is still battling it quite up, as well as the Crypt Fiends are trying to sneak away again and again. Quick Hex onto the Death Knight. Death Knight able to retreat back here. Obsidian statue still providing plenty of healing, as the Kodo Beast does start to dine and dash on a Crypt Fiend here. Alright, are we going to try and finish up the remainder of this creep camp? Yes, I do believe so. Forest Troll High Priest already low. We're going to, was already low on mana, not going to be able to do much more healing. There's that Tome of Intelligence there. Perhaps going to try and take down this Ogre Lord. Now, a proc of Purge would be helpful. There's the Purge there, as the Ogre Lord finally taken out. He's going to end up dropping Kagar's Pipe of Insight, and that item is absolutely key. Making sure that the Undead army, who's now showing up here, doesn't get that Pipe of Insight. That was huge, as it also bolsters and helps the Shadow Hunter stay topped off on mana as well. Do we see a Mana Stone still? No. Ogre Magi, who's going to get that last bit of experience? Death Knight steals it with the Death Coil. Pipe and Sobi Mask, very helpful indeed. Shadow Hunter also has a wand of mana stealing, once more maxed out on mana again. Meanwhile, what is the Shadow Hunter looking to do? He only has that wand of mana stealing. The creep camps have been cleared out. Only, well, a handful of creeps are left out here on the map, as the Lich may get to level 3 off of this creep camp here. Yes, does get to level 3, opening up level 2 Frost Nova. Alright, looking to clear out the last remnants of this creep camp here. A couple of Forest Troll High Priest and Forest Troll Trappers will get cleaned up. 120 and so, and now both sitting in low upkeep, as we see the Forest Troll Priest trying to get in some heals here. Kodo Beast also has taken quite a bit of damage, does get a healing salve, and will be back up to full hit points when the time comes. So we have Warsong Battle Drums, the upgraded version, Kagar's Pipe of Insight, and eventually Endurance Aura. That Tauren Chieftain has a decent amount of mana and hit points, and with that Ring of Protection +4 has decent armor as well. Should be able to mitigate a lot of that damage and perhaps win out in those wars of attrition if the Tauren Chieftain does have to dive on into the front. 950 hit points. Feels like a lot of hit points until you see a level 5 Death Knight and a level 4 Lich. Then suddenly with Dark Ritual, oh, thank you for the sub. With that Dark Ritual, the Lich seems to have pretty much mana for days. I guess that's a good reminder for anyone out there. If you do have a free Amazon Prime sub, definitely consider using it on a Twitch channel. It doesn't have to be mine, just help support your favorite content on Twitch. And if I am one of your favorites, well, then thank you. Coming back around, Tauren Chieftain does buy a tiny Great Hall. He was looking to set up an expo, but this is not going to be good here. That, extra gold just sitting in the base, or sitting in on the Tauren Chieftain, as the Tauren Chieftain does line up a stomp. No silence there. Tauren Chieftain could be in trouble. He is down to 500 hit points, does take a healing wave, and is going to be able to shake off a little bit of that damage for now. Meanwhile, Crypt Fiends are trying to retreat all the way to the back, as the Kodo Beast ends up getting taken down, reversing that one Crypt Fiend there. Tauren Chieftain could be throwing down another stomp, but is currently silenced, unable to do much. Mommy pretty much says Daddy shouldn't yell at this point and stage in the game. Tauren Chieftain still trying to fight his way through. Are we going to get a stomp? A lot of low hit point raiders. There's the stomp. Death Knight down to 365 hit points. Level 3 now on the Dark Ranger, as we're going to be going into perhaps, no skill as of yet. More Crypt Fiends are falling. 41 supply compared to 59, but Soen is in a lot of trouble, as the army size advantage of 120 still holding true, trying to chase down some of those lower hit point units, as we see a Death Coil, Frost Nova, and Healing Wave bounce around that Tauren Chieftain, trying to finish off a Crypt Fiend. The Crypt Fiend does end up falling here. Tauren Chieftain down to 249 hit points, trying to retreat back. So much focused fire damage here, as a silence seemingly lasting forever. Potion of Invulnerability transferred at the last moment. Does the yes, there's a wand of mana stealing. There's a healing wave. I was gonna say the Shadow Hunter needs a little bit more mana, and uses the wand of mana stealing to deny some mana and then push it back the other way. Are we gonna see another healing wave? Yes, we are. Pulling back all the way across. 45 supply compared to 52. Reinforced defenses here. Kodo Beast in the very far back, trying to give a bit more damage bonus while staying out of harm's way. Tauren Chieftain going to be in a lot of trouble, down to 77. He's finally out for the count here, as the Tauren Chieftain falls at level 2. Meanwhile, the Berserkers with their Berserk and also their Curse missing plenty of targets because of those Banshees, as they're trying to retreat back here again and again. All right, low hit point units. Are they going to be able to fall back here? Perhaps Orc Burrows will be able to provide a little bit of defense. 41 supply compared to 53, as that low hit point Kodo Beast, doesn't have a real opportunity to get back in. Tauren Chieftain waiting for the resurrection, but it may not happen. It looks like 120 is just in a dominant position here. Those Banshees adding in curses, adding in missed attacks across all of these units, really causing problems, as there's a sudden drop-off in damage. All right, there's a Windwalk Strike trying to get that one Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger is going to be able to break free. Healing Wave bouncing around. Death Knight has plenty of mana now. Are we going to see some silence? This is the last fight by Soen, and Soen ends up throwing in the towel. 120 taking the game. All right, final scores showing up here. 120 with a slight lead in the overall score, but in the end, and actually the hero scores were much closer than I thought they would be. It was really the army of 120, and it could have been just a difference in long game versus short game. Soin was expecting and planning on setting up an expo, so he had that tiny Great Hall in his inventory ready to start mining away, but 120 was in position, never let that tiny Great Hall even hit the battlefield to try and recover any bit of gold. If you consider the cost of a tiny Great Hall, perhaps 2 extra Crypt Fiends for 120, and that was all that was needed to pull ahead. Pull ahead and get the victory there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.